Hi, I'm attorney Greg Dell, and I'm joined today by attorney Rachel Alters.
Hello, Greg.
Hello. And today we're going to talk to you for a few minutes about a recent case that came out against Life Insurance Company of North America, also known as Cigna. And this was a case out of the District Court of Oregon. Now, Rachel's done the research on this case, and she's going to explain to you a few things that you should know about this case, and hopefully some things that you could learn that would help you with your disability insurance claim.
Greg, this is a case that was filed against LINA, also known as Cigna, where the plaintiff filed a lawsuit alleging that his disability benefits were improperly terminated after 2 years due to a mental illness limitation. LINA claimed that this attorney was disabled solely due to depression, and the plaintiff claims no, his disability was due to chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. So this was a motion for summary judgment that was filed with the court to determine whether the mental illness limitation actually applied. What the court determined was, after several physicians hired by LINA reviewed the case, and they looked into whether this was a depression issue or whether this was a complete disability due to the chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Most of, or all of, the hired physicians determined that he was disabled due to depression. And all of the plaintiff's treating doctors, in their medical records and in their testimony and their attending physician statements, claimed that this was actually due to chronic fatigue syndrome, which predated the depression that he was diagnosed with 2 years later. So in essence, the court ruled in favor of the plaintiff, stating that no, the mental illness limitation did not apply, and that he was entitled to continued benefits because his disability was due to the physical limitations, not solely due to depression.
All right, now what techniques did Cigna use to try to prove that this claimant was not disabled by chronic fatigue syndrome?
Well, what LINA did was they would hire their internal doctors, their consultants. They had nurses, they had psychiatrists, psychologists, and some of them did paper reviews, and some of them actually examined the plaintiff. And they would, they wanted to come down to, come out with a conclusion whether this was an actual cognitive issue that was solely due to depression, or these were cognitive limitations due to a physical problem that he was having.
Okay, so even though this claimant was examined by their doctors, they reviewed all of his records, and Cigna rendered opinions that he wasn't disabled, the court still came back and found in favor of the claimant?
They did. The judge found in favor of the claimant, stating that there was more evidence to support that this was a physical disability, and that the depression was secondary to the physical disability. It stemmed from the fact that he was so depressed that he couldn't do his work as an attorney, that he had so much pain, and it wasn't that it stemmed from the depression. So they did rule in favor of the plaintiff.
Now you and I have handled tons of cases where we have a claimant who has a physical condition and they have a mental nervous condition.
Absolutely.
So if this particular attorney who was disabled had his mental nervous condition first and then a physical condition, could he have still been paid benefits past the 2-year mark?
Well, it depends on the policy. I think this policy specifically stated that if there was a physical condition that disabled you, as well as a mental nervous, that you could get past that 2-year mark. Okay. I'm pretty sure that that policy stated that specifically. Some policies say if there's a mental nervous condition at all, then that limits you to the 2 years. Okay. So I think it depends on the policy language.
For people watching our videos and people considering having us help them with their appeals or their lawsuits, what types of things should they do or consider if they're before the 2-year mark and they have mental nervous condition and a physical condition to try to ensure that they're going to continue benefits beyond 2 years?
Well, if that's the case, they need to really make sure that their doctors that they are seeing are documenting specifically for these physical conditions, and that they're not solely focusing on the depression issues or the anxiety issues, that if there is a physical issue involved, that it has to be addressed.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions specific about a Cigna disability denial, or you're on claim with Cigna, or you need to submit an appeal with Cigna, feel free to call us at any time to discuss your claim, and we're happy to offer you a free consultation to discuss your options.